Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Okay, let me keep it real with you. When I first started this game, I had no clue which champs were fire and which ones were straight up food. I'm out here sacrificing dudes just to get my Kael up to 60, thinking I'm smart, and then later finding out, nah bro, I just burned some actual gems without even knowing it. So today, we're fixing that. I'm dropping the top 15 rare champions that you need to know about so you don't make the same rookie mistakes. And don't worry, we already got a top 10 list up on the channel, so this one's covering 15 to 11. And if you haven't jumped into Raid Shadow Legends yet, or maybe you're thinking about starting a fresh account, this is literally the best time to do it. Hit my link and you're starting off stacked. We're talking 3 legendaries right out the gate. You get Michelangelo as your 7-day login beast, Elenaril just for signing up, and with the promo code Desert Queen, you're snatching 2 Hanorok on top of that. Plus, they're sprinkling in some nasty epic champs as you level, so even if you mess up early, your roster's still looking cracked. Alright, enough talking. Let's get into the good stuff. Here are the top 15 rare champions in Raid that you absolutely want to hold on to if you pull them. Number 15, Petrifya Rockroot. Alright, kicking things off at number 15, we got Petrifya Rockroot. And listen, don't let the fact that she's a rare fool you. This demon girl is out here working overtime. She's literally the 3rd mutation of Hellborn and Hellfreak, and she spawned in the game with one mission: smack the clan boss in the face. Oh, and before you even think about sleeping on her, she's also required for the Bambus 4-leaf fusion. So yeah, she's packing some extra value too. Now, why do people love her? Easy, budget DPS for your unkillable teams. Rockroot comes through with debuffs like she's Santa on steroids. Open up with her Rot Pulse A3, and she's throwing 3 hits at random. Each one has a 40% chance to drop poison sensitivity, and if all those shots land on the same unlucky fool, boom, you're also getting a 5% poison stacked in there. And here's the real juice. That poison sensitivity unlocks her ability to slap a full-on 60% decreased defense. That's Damage City, baby. But hold up, she's not just a clan boss bot. She's got wave value too. She swings at all enemies twice, with chances to drop a 25% decrease attack, plus more poison sprinkles. That means in Faction Wars, she's helping you not only melt enemies, but also reduce their damage, so your team doesn't get clapped. Bottom line, Petrifya is one of those rares that punches way above her weight. Don't be dumb and feed her away. You'll regret it when she's out here cooking Demon Lord like it's a backyard barbecue. Number 14, Galek. Sliding in at number 14, we got the big green homie himself, Galek. Yeah, the orc that's been plastered all over raid ads since day one. Bro's literally the poster child of the game. But let's be real, just because you're on the billboards doesn't mean you're the best starter champ out here. At the beginning of your raid journey, you gotta pick your first rare. And Galek, he's one of those choices. Problem is, he's kind of like that one dude in the crew who looks tough, but low-key gets outshined by his siblings. Because when you line him up next to Kael or Athel, yeah, Kael's dropping poisons and nuking waves. Athel's buffing herself and smacking with Weaken. Meanwhile, Galek's just kind of flexing like, hey, I got some random hits though. But hold up, it's not all slander. Galek does bring some sauce. His decreased defense can slap the stronger version if the target's under 2 or more debuffs, which can absolutely juice up your team's damage. And when he pops his AoE with that self-increased speed buff, that's clean synergy right there. He's basically saying, I'm gonna go faster than you and set up my squad to hit harder. Respect. And don't sleep on his A3 either. That 4-hit random attack? Perfect for early Fire Knight teams to help chop down those shield counters. Dude may not be the best starter, but he's not useless either. Galek can still swing when you build him right. So yeah, he's not the golden child, but he's definitely not trash. If Kael and Athel are eating steak dinners, Galek's still getting fed, just maybe the discount meal deal instead. Coming in at number 13, we got Elhain, the high elf starter who literally got smoked by the dragon in the opening cutscene. Yeah, not the best first impression. Like, imagine being the face of the tutorial and then instantly getting cooked. Should you revive her? Well, let's talk. Elhain is one of the 4 starters, and like all of them, she's a solid rare who can carry you through most of the early game. But here's the thing. Compared to Kael dropping poisons, Athel dropping Weaken, or even Galek bringing that speed synergy, Elhain just hits stuff. That's it. She's basically that friend in your squad who doesn't bring snacks, doesn't bring gas money. She just shows up to throw hands. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to raw nuking, she can slap. Her AoE damage in Arena can absolutely wipe out early game teams if you build her right. But outside of that, no debuffs, no utility, no extra spice. She's basically the definition of all gas, no brakes. If you're building her as your all-rounder, just forget accuracy altogether. She doesn't need it. Load her up with offensive and defensive masteries, and War Master's usually the best way to squeeze value out of her. So yeah, Elhain might be the worst of the 4 starters on paper. But don't act like she can't clap some fools when it's nuke time. She's just not bringing anything fancy to the table. She's the plain fries, while the others got the extra seasoning. Alright, at number 12 we got Athel, the Sacred Order starter Engel's longtime rival. And look, let's be honest, Kael's been dunking on her for years. Dude's got poisons, dude's got fame, he's basically the teacher's pet of raid starters. But if you don't want to follow the crowd, Athel's got plenty of heat to bring to the table. First off, her A1 is straight disrespectful. It's a triple hit with Weaken. That alone makes her a menace for early to mid-game Fire Knight and Clan Boss, because nothing says, I'm here to work, like slapping 3 times in a row and lowering defenses. Then there's her A2. This girl straight up hits all enemies with bonus crit built in. That's right. She's walking around with a free 15% crit chance on her nuke. So if you're building her, don't waste time stacking to 100% crit rate. You only need 85%, and boom, she's farming campaigns, clearing dungeon waves, and nuking arena scrubs like it's nothing. And the best part? She's not some one-trick pony. Athel's got the versatility to show up pretty much everywhere. Campaign, dungeons, arena, clan boss, you name it. She'll hold her own right through into late game if you build her right. So yeah, Kael might get all the hype, but don't act like Athel's just sitting on the bench. She's got the tools, she's got the damage, and when she crits your whole squad into the dirt, you'll wish you picked her on day 1. And finally, sitting pretty at number 11, we got Kael. My guy went from petty thief out here jacking apples in Teleria to being handpicked by the Arbiter herself to go toe-to-toe with the undead. Talk about a glow-up. Arbiter was like, yo, stop being a street rat, come fight some dragons with me. And now, Kael's basically the people's champ of raid starters, and honestly, it's not even close. Kael is the best starter champion in the game. Dude's kit is just cracked for a rare. He's dropping poisons left and right, he's got that acid rain AoE clap that just wipes out waves, and the versatility? Bro, you can take him everywhere. Dragon? Melted. Clan boss? Cooked. Arena? Bodies everywhere. He's the starter that doesn't fall off when you hit mid or late game. He just keeps stacking value. And like the others, you don't even need to max out crit rate. Just build him to 85% because his A2 already comes with a free 15% crit baked in. That's efficiency, baby. More stats for damage, more stats for survivability, more stats for Kael to just keep embarrassing people. Even in late game content, Kael's still hanging around. Rare Doom Tower secret rooms, guess who's walking in with a smirk? Kael. This guy's basically Raid's poster boy for don't mess with me, I'm rare but I clap like a legendary. So yeah, Elhain got roasted by a dragon, Galek stuck in the ads, Athel's trying to keep up, but Kael's the starter who actually delivers. If you picked him, you made the smart move. If you didn't, well, enjoy the regret, my friend. Alright, that wraps up 15 through 11. Now it's time to step into the big leagues. Let's break down the top 10 rare champions in Raid. The ones that really separate the noobs from the pros. For 10, we've got my guy Gnarlhorn. And listen, don't let this dude's name fool you. He might sound like some farm animal with anger issues, but in Raid Shadow Legends, this bull is an absolute crowd control machine. Here's the deal. Gnarlhorn has one of the best AoE provokes in the entire rare category. We're talking 100% chance to provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. That's crazy. You throw him in against waves, and suddenly the enemies aren't doing their flashy moves anymore. They're all too busy swinging at this angry goat man instead of your squishier champs. And let's be real, sometimes you just need someone who's willing to stand there and say, yeah, hit me, bro. All of you at once. That's Gnarlhorn. Absolute tanky bodyguard energy. Where does he shine? Pretty much anywhere you need crowd control. Doom Tower waves, he's locking them down. Faction wars, he's saving your weaker champs from getting clapped. Hydra, Believe it or not, he even puts in work there by keeping the heads provoked so your team doesn't get nuked. Now, is he flashy? Nah. He's not dropping nukes. He's not out-damaging your Kael or your Elhain. But that's the thing, he doesn't need to. Gnarlhorn is that reliable dude who shows up, does the dirty work, and keeps your team alive while your damage dealers shine. Every team needs a guy like that. So yeah, if you pull him, don't sleep on him. He's not food. He's not a bench warmer. This Angry Bull is one of the most valuable rares for crowd control, and that's why he kicks off our list at number 10. Number 9, Paragon. All right, sliding in at number 9, we've got Paragon, aka the King of Cheese, the Master of Frustration, and the champ that made me question if Raid even playtests their rares sometimes. So here's the deal. Paragon's got this permanent unkillable setup. His skill lasts 2 turns with a 2-turn cooldown. Do the math. Yeah, that means he can literally keep unkillable up forever. Infinite, permanent, never dying. It's like having God mode turned on, but legit. And what does that mean for you? It means Paragon can literally carry you through stuff that should be impossible. We're talking Nightmare Campaign cheese runs, stalling out Doom Tower bosses, and beating content that your account has no business beating at that stage. He's like the loophole champ. Raid probably thought, oh, nobody will actually abuse this, but guess what? We do, every single time. Now, there's a catch. You can't just throw him in naked and expect miracles. For Doom Tower bosses especially, you'll want to gear him smart. Poison set, deflection set, or grab Warmaster Mastery so he actually does damage over time. Otherwise, yeah, he'll survive forever. But you'll run out of turns, quit the run, and rage. Been there. Don't recommend. But here's the part I gotta roast. Please, please don't be that person who throws Paragon as a solo defense in Arena. That's not strategy. That's just evil. All you're doing is forcing people to waste 5 minutes of their life slowly chipping away at an immortal mosquito. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Bottom line, Paragon is absolutely busted for cheese strategies, can carry you through content you shouldn't be able to touch, and he's one of those rares you'll always be glad you kept around. Just don't use him to troll the arena, or I will personally send Gnarlhorn to your account to deal with you. Number 8, Reliquary Tender. Okay, sitting pretty at number 8, we've got Reliquary Tender, and let me tell you, this champ is way better than she looks. Like you pull her and at first you're thinking, support rare, whatever. But the moment you start running into nasty bosses like Nether Spider, you'll be begging her to carry you. Here's why. Full team cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. That's huge. Drop her into a fight and suddenly all those poisons, stuns, freezes, whatever garbage the enemy is throwing at you, gone. And she doesn't just cleanse, she also throws out continuous heals. So not only is your team clean, they're also topping back up at the same time. That combo is so good for faction wars, Doom Tower waves, and especially the Nether Spider, who loves spamming poison stacks like it's going out of style. And here's the sneaky part a lot of people forget. She's got a revive. Yeah, it's not the strongest revive in the world, and it's not going to save you in high-end content forever. But when you're a newer player and one of your damage dealers gets folded, having that emergency button to bring them back can literally save a run. Now, don't get me wrong, she's not some flashy nuke machine, she's not going to solo bosses or drop 6-digit crits. That's not her job. Reliquary Tender is basically your team's medic. She shows up, cleans up the mess, patches everyone back together, and says, all right, go do your thing again. And honestly, that role is more valuable than half the damage champs you'll pull early game. So yeah, if you pull her, don't sleep on her. Don't throw her away thinking, I'll get a better cleanser later. Nope. This elf right here can carry you through fights you had no business winning. That's why she earns the number 8 spot. Number 7, Soulbond Bowyer. At number 7, we've got Soulbond Bowyer, and honestly, this champ is way better than her rarity suggests. Like, when you pull her, you're not gonna scream with excitement like you just hit a legendary, but trust me, give her a chance, and she'll end up saving your account more times than you expect. So let's start with the big one. 100% turn meter reduction on a 4-turn cooldown. Do you know how busted that is for bosses like Spider and Fire Knight? That's literally the difference between I win and oh no, everyone's dead. Fire Knight especially, His shield mechanic is a nightmare, but Soulbond Bowyer can straight up shut him down by keeping his turn meter at 0. She's basically saying, nah bro, you don't get to play today. And then there's her AoE A1. Yes, an AoE on her basic attack. That means every swing she takes can slap multiple enemies at once. Early on, that's insane for farming campaign or dealing with waves in dungeons. Later in the game, it gets even better. Throw her in a stun set, and suddenly, every A1 is a chance to lock down an entire wave. That's exactly why she keeps her value way into late game, especially for Doom Tower secret rooms. Now, to keep it real, she's not perfect. Her damage isn't game-breaking, her kit doesn't scream legendary power, and without the right gear, she's kinda average. But in the right spots, she's a boss killer. Straight up. She's like that friend who's chill most of the time, but the second you're in trouble, she pulls out some crazy hidden skill and saves the day. So yeah, Soulbond Bowyer is absolutely worth keeping, building, and slapping some gear on. She's not food. She's not filler. She's one of those rares that continues to shine even as your account grows, and that's why she locks in the number 7 spot. Number 6, Warmaiden. Alright, taking the number 6 spot, we've got Warmaiden. And yo, if you've played Raid for more than 5 minutes, you've probably already heard her name. And that's because she brings one of the most important debuffs in the entire game. I'm talking about that 100% AoE decrease defense on a 3-turn cooldown. And trust me, this skill is everything. Like, you can have the strongest nuker in the world, but if you don't have decreased defense on the enemy, your big shiny crits are basically tickle damage. Warmaiden walks in, slaps that debuff on everyone, and suddenly your Kael, your starter nuker, your whole squad is deleting waves like they're nothing. She makes everyone else look better. And the best part? She's farmable. You don't have to pray to RNGesus to bless you with her. You can literally grind her out from campaign. That means she's easy to get, easy to book, and you can max her skills without feeling like you're throwing away resources. Honestly, she's probably the most beginner-friendly rare in the game because anyone can grab her with just a little effort. Now, let's keep it real. Warmaiden isn't going to carry you into endgame Doom Tower or late Hydra. She's not some secret god-tier champ. But for early to mid-game progression, she's basically mandatory. She's that champ you build, gear up, and lean on until you finally pull a legendary or epic that does the same job. And even then, she still feels solid. So yeah, Warmaiden deserves the number 6 spot all day. She's simple, reliable, and she's out here teaching new players the most important lesson in Raid. Always, always bring decreased defense. And that's our list from 10 down to 6. Solid rares that can absolutely carry your account if you know how to use them. But hey, we're not done yet, because now we're stepping right into the top 5 rare champions in Raid Shadow Legends. If you've already watched my last video, you know exactly who's coming and why they're such beasts. But if this is your first time tuning in, don't worry. This video ties it all together, so you'll have the full top 10 rares list in one place. So let's keep it rolling. Here are the top 5 rare champions that every player should be looking out for. Number 5, Prosecutor. Coming in at number 5, we've got a rare that doesn't always get the spotlight, but definitely deserves it. Prosecutor. Now, let me tell you why this champ is actually rated pretty high by a lot of players. First off, Prosecutor is literally the only rare champion in the game with an AoE decrease speed debuff at 30%. That's huge, because slowing down an entire enemy team or a dungeon boss is game-changing. The only catch? It's not guaranteed. It's a 75% chance to land. But hey, if you build the right masteries, you can push it up to 80%, which makes it way more reliable. Still not perfect, but when it lands, oh boy, it's nasty. Next up, the triple hit A3 with heal reduction. This is what makes Prosecutor a complete beast in Fire Knight's castle. Why? Because Fire Knight is all about breaking down that shield, and triple hitters just rip right through it. Add in the heal reduction, and suddenly you're shutting down his healing at the same time. That's 2 birds with 1 stone. But it doesn't stop there. Her double hit A1 comes with turn meter reduction, and that's clutch not only for Fire Knight, but also in fights like Spider and Dark Fae. Controlling turn meter basically means you're controlling the pace of the entire battle, and Prosecutor brings that in spades. What's cool is that she actually plays very similarly to the starter champions, Kael, Elhain, Athel, Galek. But the difference is that she's spirit affinity. And that spirit typing gives her a niche in certain fights where the starter champs struggle. So while she's not going to carry you everywhere, Prosecutor is one of those sneaky rares that can absolutely clutch some big battles if you invest in her. That's why the community rates her higher than you might expect. Not because she's the flashiest, but because she brings a rare mix of abilities that just work in some of the hardest content early on. Number 4, Apothecary. Sliding into number 4, we've got a champ that honestly every beginner should get excited about, Apothecary. This dude is basically the definition of support MVP in the rare pool. Why? Because he's the only rare champion that can throw out a team-wide 30% increased speed buff and fill your turn meter at the same time. That combo right there is insane for progression. Speed is literally the most important stat in Raid. The faster your team takes turns, the more control you have, and the more times you smack the enemy before they even get to react. Apothecary makes sure your squad is always running laps around the opponent. On top of that, he's packing a great single target heal. And not just a little tick of health, it's a strong, reliable heal that can save your carry champion in tough fights. If your Kael or Elhain is about to drop, Apothecary swoops in and keeps them alive long enough to finish the job. That kind of clutch healing is why so many players swear by him early on. And his base stats? Surprisingly solid for a support. He's not just there to buff and heal. He can actually take a few hits without instantly folding, which makes him even more reliable in longer fights. But here's the kicker. His A1 is a triple hitter. And if you know anything about Fire Knight's castle, you already know where I'm going with this. Fire Knight's shield is all about landing multiple hits as fast as possible, and Apothecary brings that utility right on his basic attack. That means while he's boosting your speed and healing your team, he's also actively helping you break down that shield. Absolute game changer. So yeah, Apothecary isn't just some background healer. He's one of those rares that can literally carry your account through the early and mid-game if you build him right. That's why the community holds him in such high regard. Number 3, Painkeeper. Alright, cracking into the top 3, we've got one of the sneakiest powerhouse rares in the game, Painkeeper. Now, at first glance, she might not look like much, but trust me, this champ has some absolutely busted utility that makes her a favorite for tons of players. The biggest thing? She's got an ability that reduces all ally cooldowns by 1 turn. Yeah, you heard that right. Everybody on your team gets their skills back faster. And in a game like Raid, where timing is everything, that's huge. This is vital in certain setups, especially for things like Clan Boss and Iron Twins teams that rely on super tight speed tuning. If you've ever tried to put together a comp where every single turn matters, Painkeeper is basically the glue that holds it together. She keeps your rotation smooth, your key abilities cycling, and your damage flowing non-stop. But it's not just about cooldown reduction. She's also a solid healer. And for early progression, that's a lifesaver. You're going to be going into dungeons and campaign fights where your champs take heavy damage, and having Painkeeper there to top everybody back up makes those runs way smoother. She gives you both survivability and utility at the same time, which is rare to find in one champion. So, yeah, Painkeeper might not look flashy like some big damage dealer, but the community rates her so high because of how much she enables your team. Whether it's making your Clan Boss squad hit those longer runs or keeping your early game roster alive through tough fights, she's one of those rares that just puts in work way beyond her rank. Number 2, Renegade. Alright, locking in at number 2, we've got the queen of cooldown resets herself, Renegade. This champ is straight up legendary level when it comes to what she brings to the table. Why? Because she's hands down the best rare reset champion in the entire game. Her ability reduces all ally cooldowns by 2 turns. 2. That might not sound like much if you're new, but in practice, that's absolutely busted. It basically means your team gets to fire off their big nukes and clutch abilities way more often. Here's the crazy part. If you're looking for an upgrade from her, you can't even settle for an epic. Nope. You literally have to pull top-tier legendaries like Prince Kaimar or Yumeko to get something better. That's how good Renegade is. She's sitting in rare rank, but she's operating at the same level as some of the most sought-after legendaries in the game. Talk about punching above your weight. And the reason players rate her so highly is because she's essential for speed farming. Whether you're clearing dungeons for gear or blasting through Doom Tower stages, having Renegade on your team means you're cycling through skills at light speed. Your nukers get to nuke more, your debuffers keep control rolling, and your runs get faster and more consistent. So yeah, Renegade is one of those champions where, if you pull her, you don't just feed her away. You build her. You keep her. Because she's got one of the strongest and most unique abilities in the entire rare category. And that's why the community has her rated this high. Number 1, Coldheart. And finally, sitting at the top of the mountain, the undisputed champ of the rare tier, Coldheart. No debate, no arguments. She is unquestionably the best rare in the entire game. If you pull a Coldheart, you stop what you're doing, you build her, and you never, ever regret it. That's how valuable she is. Here's why. Her A3 is absolutely busted. It smacks with enemy max HP damage, which means it doesn't care how stacked the boss is. It just rips a chunk right out of their health bar. And on top of that, it comes with a 100% turn meter depletion. That combo is so deadly that it makes her the MVP for killing bosses in pretty much every dungeon and even the Doom Tower. Doesn't matter how tanky they are, Coldheart cuts them down to size. But she's not just about one ability. Her A1 is a 4-hitter. And if you've been paying attention, you already know what that means. Fire Knight's shield? Yeah, it hates Coldheart. 4 hits in one go, plus her massive A3, and suddenly one of the hardest bosses in the game feels way easier. Same deal with Spider. Her kit makes those fights so much smoother, and honestly, she becomes one of your most reliable boss killers across the board. That's why the entire raid community puts so much respect on her name. She's not just good for a rare, she's good, period. She outperforms tons of epics and even some legendaries when it comes to boss fights. So yeah, Coldheart is the definition of a game changer. If you're lucky enough to pull her, congrats, you've just got yourself the #1 rare champion in Raid Shadow Legends. And that's the full list, your top 15 rare champions in Raid Shadow Legends. From hidden gems to the obvious heavy hitters, now you know exactly who's worth keeping and who's just food for upgrades. If you're new or starting fresh, don't miss out. Hit the link in the description and lock in that crazy head start with free legendaries and epics to stack your roster. Alright fam, that's it from me. Drop a like if this helped, sub if you're hungry for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.